Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 24th. This week, we're just going to jump right in here, and we are going to see what comes up for you here, Pisces. Pisces, it's kind of funny because, number one, I think it's going to be a good week for you. I feel good. I feel better doing your reading this week for whatever reason, so it feels different to me, and I always like to point that out because, to me, that's important. But I feel like it's going to be a really good week for you this week. You're off to a good start, let's put it that way. But it's funny because I always do, nobody knows this, Pisces, but, I always do Pisces first for the most part. That's the secret, right? And, it's funny, I was starting your reading, and I have this thing plugged into right here. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera. And for some reason, I was like having connection issues, and it immediately popped into my head. Like, that's a message for Pisces. So I feel like you need to be careful of connections in general. Could be like a little bit of Mercury retrograde things. I feel like when I did that, I was getting the whole like measure twice, cut once message was popping into my head, Pisces. Number one, this is a great reading. Number two, if you're doing anything important, like any projects for business or for school or for work or anything like that, it's kind of popping into my head that you should measure twice and cut once. Basically, double check everything that you're doing. I feel like that's going to be important. It'll just save you a headache and a hassle later on. And that's kind of like the message I was getting over here for whatever reason. You start off with these two cards. You have the happiness card and the change card. Love it. Literally, I feel like saying, this is the change you've been waiting for here, Pisces. You're really like coming out of your shell, I feel. Here with this reading, I'm kind of like getting chills, and that's not clickbait, Pisces. That is, I'm truly getting chills. Chills for me are kind of like confirmation that I'm saying the right thing, that I'm channeling the right message here. And I feel the message that I'm getting is like you're kind of coming out of your shell. You're it's like you're about to reveal something to the world in a lot of ways, and probably who you are is what I would say here, and this is going to make you very happy. I do see love here, just so you know, but I wouldn't really call this is one of those readings where I would say this is more of an all about you reading. I'm sure love will come up and we'll talk about it, but to me, this is more about a change that's coming in for you. It's going to be really important for you to not hold back. You have this oyster card at the end, and it's kind of like a card that says you have a little pearl inside of you, right? And the pearl is probably, for a lot of you, it could be like pearls of wisdom. For others, it could just be the things that you've gone through. For an oyster to get a pearl, it has to get sand inside of its shell, and it causes irritation, and that's what causes the oyster to form a pearl. So the card itself basically says that you have been through irritating circumstances, probably in multiple areas of your life, and you need to realize that these circumstances, the things that you've been through in the past, are ultimately leading to your glow up, your bossing up, whatever you want to call it. You even have the King of Swords, and it's kind of funny because for a very long time, you've been getting the King of Swords in your readings, and I've been saying, Pisces, you are the King of Swords. Yes, I realize that you are not an air sign. Yes, I totally understand that, right? People always leave comments that the swords represent air. I'm like, yes, I understand. But you can still embrace an energy of a card. You can still embrace the energy. And to me, the King of Swords has been through the most battles. He has been through the most wars, and now he is kind of very successful because of that, right? You could argue that the King of Swords doesn't even need to go to battle anymore because he has so much experience that he no longer has to fight. And I'm kind of getting that message for you. This is a very powerful reading for you, Pisces. You have the Six of Wands, the Emperor, and the Hierophant here. I like this. I feel like a few weeks ago, I was saying on this Hierophant card here that, and I'm pretty sure it was you, where I was saying I almost felt like that owl was on this particular Hierophant card here, if it's going to focus. And typical Mercury retrograde, again, I don't even know if this is coming into focus or not, Pisces, but it's almost like I felt like the owl on this card was kind of tangled up in the tree. But this week, I feel like this owl is kind of more out in the open. It's almost like you're sharing wisdom, or you're releasing things here, Pisces, or opening up. Something is being revealed here. And so kind of like putting this all together, it's kind of like you are really stepping up Six of Wands, success, victory. It's the message I'm getting here is this is the order. those are the words that are popping into my head right now, Pisces. This is the order right here. Six of Wands, Emperor, Hierophant. I feel like this is you right here. I feel like this is everybody else. And so in a lot of ways, it's like you're not putting yourself second this week. I feel like you're putting yourself first with this energy, and you're also like gaining a lot of power. This would make perfect sense. Jupiter is in Pisces for a little bit of time. So Jupiter is for most of you, it's going to be your first house. It's not going to be true for all of you, but for most of you. And so it's like you're kind of like standing out. Let's see here. You have the Fool, getting ready to start a new journey here, Pisces. You have the Two of Wands, again, leaving a comfort zone, taking the lead. Major leadership vibes on this reading, for sure. And the King of Swords, again. Yeah, I mean, King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords. Queen of Pentacles is really just the resources that you have gained. I wouldn't really call it a warning, Pisces, but what I would say is that with the Oyster card there, it's like you might not feel like something you might not feel like something is special. You might not feel like something makes you special, like a hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability. You might not feel like people that what you have to say is important, but it is. So that Oyster card is really asking you to open up and share, to do things that you want to do at this time, whether that's like starting a business or whatever. For some of you, could also represent like insecurities and things like that as well. But this is we're off to a good start. Definitely a major, the Fool, I just feel like it's saying there's a new beginning coming in for you here in general. I am getting a message about love. If you are waiting for love, I feel like there could be love coming in for you with that Fool card. The Fool card can represent companionship, so I do feel there's love. I'm getting T, so it could be someone who has a name that begins with the letter T, or the T, like you could have met them at a location for T. They could live in a location that begins with the letter T. For some of you, I feel like you know who this person is already. For some of you, I feel you obviously don't know this person yet, but that's standing out to me. I feel like it's someone who's going to be a companion for sure. In a lot of ways, I feel like saying you've earned this as well. This is almost like the universe paying you back for crappy relationships that you've been going through is what I'm getting on the Fool card. I also feel like I'm getting the word tattered. Maybe that's where the T is coming from, because I'm getting the word tattered is popping into my head, like something being, torn apart. But I'm not really seeing this in my head as like one relationship or one thing. I just feel that some of you Pisces, either you feel like your life is in tatters, like, you feel like your life is being torn apart or something, but you have the Death card here, so this would be a positive message to me, because it's like sometimes we have to be, broken down by life before we can be rebuilt, right? And it's funny that you have the King of Swords here. It's like, if you join the military, for example, it's like in the military, they, what do? They yell at all the kids coming into the military. And I'm not making a statement on military or anything like that, but you have the King of Swords twice. And I said the military, kind of going through battle, saying at the beginning, and that's what I'm getting for you. It's almost like you had to be broken down in a certain way to be built back up. And I feel that that's why you maybe went through some challenges in the past, Pisces. Next, you have the Time to Go card. Definitely time to leave something from the past behind. And if you're wondering like what it is, it's popping into my head that it's going to be something that has never changed. What the hell does that mean, Pisces? I feel for some of you could be a relationship. It's like, and maybe the person that you're leaving behind is exactly the same. They don't want growth. They don't want change. Right here, your last row: growth, change, growth, abundance, good things coming in for you. They don't want that, right? So if it's a person, if you're wondering, should I stay or should I go? They have never changed. They've always been the same. If they're growing, if they're changing, great. Then keep working together. Three of Pentacles. Plain and simple. Pretty straightforward reading. Same thing in work or business. It's like maybe you're in a job and maybe your boss is just like, we're going to do things the same way we've been doing it since the 1920s. It's like, that's great, but we have the internet now. So it's like, it's time to grow. It's time to change, right? Sometimes we have to let go of the old ways so we can grow, advance, create more abundance, all those other things as well. So I feel like it's a pretty straightforward message. And this could be, again, I could sit here all day and give you a million examples, but it could be anything. Like it's popping into my head. It could be a diet. It's like maybe you tried one diet, maybe it's just not working, right? Maybe there's just been no change. This is saying it's time to go. And the reason I say this is that Three of Pentacles. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands here. Three of Pentacles is pretty straightforward. Three of Pentacles says, are you seeing results? And if you are, great, keep going, right? And if you're not seeing results, then great, stop. It's pretty simple. Normally, on a Three of Pentacles, there's those people that are like looking at the work that someone has done. And it's like saying, are you seeing results for the work that you have done? Are you seeing results that, based off of the work that you've been putting into something? Are you, getting rewards for your efforts? And that's what I feel this Three of Pentacles is really saying. I kept getting that the Queen of Pentacles was saying something about resources you have gathered, resources you have gained. And I kept getting the word revealed here as well on the Four of Wands, which is interesting. That would kind of make sense to me because the Four of Wands is a portal. Four of Wands normally represents like 1111, and there's people celebrating on the other side of the wands. And we could kind of say that, those people are saying like, hey, come celebrate with us over here. And the Four of Wands represents a finish line as well. So a lot of you could be wrapping things up, wrapping projects up, businesses, and things like that as well. And sorry, Pisces, Mercury Retrograde. Again, my iPad I can't see if it's actually working or not. So if it's not focusing, I apologize. But what I would say here is that I feel like this is saying that you have gained a bunch of resources and it's time to kind of put those resources to work. And these resources are probably right here, knowledge based off of things that you have gone through, things that you've been through, skills that you've learned, pretty much anything. And I feel like it's going to lead to a lot of freedom as well with that Four of Wands. For others, like I said, if there's love coming in, I do feel like it's with a person who like really, really wants to put the work in. Three of Pentacles. It's like I feel like this person is going to make an honest effort here. This is different than anything you've experienced before. And I feel like I said that to you in your next 6 months bonus reading. I'll link that down below, Pisces. But I'm pretty sure I said something about like never experienced this before, or something like that. You have the Seven of Wands here. I feel like you're committing to something here. You're almost doubling down on something. I call this pissed off for greatness, Pisces. There's a motivational video that I love. I can't remember who it is, like Ray Lewis or something like that. And he says something about being pissed off for greatness, and I just love that saying, right? And I feel like out of all the signs, Pisces knows exactly what that means, right? And it's just when you're just like it's like there is no other way. You have to make something work. And that's what I feel like you're getting here. Sometimes I think Pisces gets pushed to that point where they're about to quit on something, and then they're just like, no, I can't quit on this. I'm going to make this happen. I get a very determined energy on the Seven of Wands for you. So, and you have the Knight of Wands right here. Knight of Wands is a card of determination. So that would make perfect sense to me. You have two cards here, Ten of Swords, Seven of Pentacles here as well. I feel like you're being very picky, very specific with where you put your resources, time, effort, energy, and it's like you're cutting things out that just don't make sense. I'm not saying you're assigning a dollar value to your energy, but just for argument's sake, we're gonna say that maybe you're saying, hey, like this work that I do gives me $10 an hour, but this work over here gives me $100 an hour. It's like you're cutting something out over here with that Ten of Swords that just isn't worth it anymore, and you're going towards something that's more worth it. And again, this doesn't have to be money. I'm just giving you an example here, Pisces. It's like you're kind of deciding more where to put your energy. This has been a long-term message for you. Seven of Pentacles is the juice worth the squeeze? It's like he's looking at these Seven Pentacles here and he's saying, is it worth it for me to put my energy into these Pentacles? And, am I getting a decent harvest, and am I getting energy back? So this is a very good thing for you, Pisces, because I feel like it's like you're creating more abundance because of this, is what I would say to you. But let's see here. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, this is going to change everything. Pisces, ooh, I'm getting chills all throughout your reading. This is a good reading. The Wheel of Fortune is like saying that something needs to come out. Again, this isn't going to be easy. This isn't going to just magically happen. As I always say, tarot is not magic. You have to put the work in. But if you kind of reveal something here, it's like something that is being revealed is going to cause your glow up or is going to cause your change. This is something you've been learning about, something you've been trying to do. I feel like it's something you've been hesitating on doing as well. I'm getting a million things. It's just like flowing through me right now. For some of you, I feel like it's moving because you do have moving here. So for some of you, a move could be much bigger than you think. For some of you, I feel like it's something that you're putting out into the world, a YouTube channel, a book, a movie, anything that you're trying to create. Knight of Wands, right? Something you're trying to build with the Knight of Wands. So if you fit into any of that or anything else, then this is going to kind of lead you closer to your destiny. This is huge, Pisces. And that's, again, no clickbait, right? And you're going to have to do the work, obviously, to make this happen. But if you do it, your life will never be the same again. You have the oyster here. Again, this is a card of like secrets, something needing to be revealed. I don't really feel like it's a secret. I feel like it's something inside of you, Pisces. It's like you have gained a lot of wisdom. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about as well, like I would go back and I would like say like what are all the challenges I've been through? Write them down, Pisces. Write those challenges down and be like, I've been through this, this, and this. You're probably going to come up with either like, what's popping into my head is you're going to come up with like a theme. I feel like you're going to come up with like a focus or something that all your challenges have in common. And it's almost like that is your answer. It's like maybe if you want to write a book, maybe you've been banging your head against the wall for like years trying to build a business and you've finally done it. Write a book about it. I feel like I don't know what the words I'm getting are right now, Pisces. That didn't even make sense, but it's almost like everything you've been through is like adding up to this. Those are the words that are kind of popping into my head, and it's like you're about to do something new. It's probably something very different than what you're doing right now. Or there's like, it's not different, but I feel like there's a change that's going to happen. Love it. You have the King of Swords, Knight of Wands, and Death card. Like I said, there's definitely a change. This is how you know that you're on the right path. Knight of Wands is what I'm getting. I feel like you're going to feel very excited. I feel like you're going to be feeling very motivated by like something, like an idea or a job or a business or a person. It's like, it's just going to feel right. You know what I'm talking about, Pisces. I feel like you haven't felt that feeling in a very long time. I've talked to you about this before. It's like, there are times in my life as a Pisces where it's like, I've just like known things. And if you're a Pisces, you totally know what I'm talking about. Where it's like, I remember I wanted to work at this aquarium when I was a kid and like it was an hour away from where I lived. And when I went there, and I knew that I was going to work there. I just knew it. I felt it in my bones. And I ended up getting a job there, even though I had to drive an hour there every single day. It was totally worth it, right? Because I loved it. And I just knew, like I could feel it. Like when I went there, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to work here. I know it. And, I feel like you haven't felt that type of feeling for a very long time. And it's popping into my head that you are going to be feeling that feeling again, but about, something specific, like a job, a business, a person. Whatever. It's almost like you just know that something is going to be happening for you here. I almost get this feeling on this last row, Pisces, that you've been daydreaming about things, and I feel like there are things that you've been daydreaming about that are going to be happening. And it's almost like you're daydreaming and you're saying, that could never happen, and then I feel like it happens. So pay attention to your daydreams. Again, you have the King of Swords, the Knight of Wands, Death card, major transformation. I really feel that King of Swords is your energy, Pisces. It's like you've reached this level. It's like you've reached this level of wisdom, and I feel in a lot of ways it's like the universe is saying like, okay, you're going to be moving or changing, making a change because you have gained all this wisdom. The Knight of Wands, I really feel, is you kind of having this very fiery desire, willing to work on something, and so I like that. Death card is just the change that you're coming in for, that you're coming into. I do feel like for some of you, that it could be a Scorpio that's coming in for you, by the way. So if you're looking for love, it could be a Scorpio, could be a Taurus, could also be an air sign, or it could be just someone who has air in their chart, Pisces. But, general reading, take what resonates, leave the rest. You have the Emperor. How crazy is that? Emperor twice. It's funny because I almost said it's almost like you're becoming the Emperor. And, the King of, I feel like this is the last step, right, is the King of Swords. And it's like, then you're going to the Emperor. That's the energy I'm getting there. So in a lot of ways, again, you have the Emperor twice, King of Swords twice, in same row, and then same position. So I feel like this is you kind of like really bossing up here, Pisces, plain and simple. Yep, you have the Two of Cups here. Like I said, definitely could be love coming in for you. And you have the Hangman. There you go. Definitely could be a Scorpio coming in for you because that's you and a Scorpio right there. So if you're looking for love, could be a Scorpio. For others, I feel like it could be any sign that's coming in for you, honestly. But Emperor Two of Cups and the Hangman. Like I said, this is something you've been waiting for here. I feel like you're getting clues, and I feel like you need to listen to those clues. That would be my one criticism. This is a very good reading, obviously, but this is my one criticism of the reading right here would be the Hangman. It's almost like I feel like the universe is like giving you clues, like saying, like you're like the Knight of Wands with the Two of Cups. Outside of being a perfect match in love, it could be a perfect match for your desires, and I really feel like you need to tap into that energy. I feel like people don't realize that the energy has changed, right? I always say, like, I did an interview with the Leo King a few weeks ago, or like 2 months ago now, and something like that. I don't know, time is just flying by. And it's like he said in that interview that it's almost like people are like waiting in the lobby, waiting to go into a movie. And it's like there's no reason for people to be waiting. And I like totally agree with that message for the most part, because it's almost like people are like the energy has changed, something has changed, but people just don't realize that it's changed. And I don't know, it's something I have to think about more and I have to meditate on more because I do feel like things have changed. But like what exactly, I don't know. In a lot of ways, I feel that it's like if you're doing things that you don't enjoy, I could boil this reading down to very simply, although it kind of wouldn't. I feel like if I do this, just, take it with a grain of salt because it's not including everything. But kind of what I'm getting is it's almost like you could be doing something that you don't want to be doing. And it's like if you just make the switch to doing something that you want to be doing, it's going to work out very, very quickly. And that's the message I'm getting. So what the hell does that mean? It's like, well, if you're like in a job that isn't working and you go get, like, I feel like maybe in the old energy, there would be like a period of time where it's like you shouldn't just quit your job, right? And you should be working to get another job, and there's that like in between time. It's almost like that has shrunk, to this. Maybe you have a business and you hate it, and it's like maybe in the old energy, if you just quit that business, there would be a time where you'd have to build something else up. But like I feel like this is what you're not seeing. I've said this to you recently, Pisces. The oyster is what you're not seeing, and the King of Swords is what you're not seeing as well. It's like you have gained a bunch of wisdom. You've gained a bunch of knowledge. So you're not starting, like if you quit a business and to start another one, it's like you're not starting from ground zero. You're starting from all the knowledge that you learned this way, right? So it's like this period of time, whatever the hell this is, it has shrunk significantly. So I feel like you need to realize that something is going to work out much, much faster. And it's this, and I've said this to you a million times, but I feel, Pisces, out of all the signs, really, you need to not discount your experiences and your, everything else as well, and not question it. Same thing in love as well. It's like maybe you're thinking about leaving a relationship that just isn't right, but I feel like the in-between time, the time to go right here, it's like that time frame has shrunk. So you're going to be finding something relatively quickly as far as new love is concerned. For others, I feel like you've had the other message I'm getting for love. I'm getting a million things channeling through me today for you, Pisces, obviously, if you can't tell. The other thing I'm getting is that it's like I feel like you've had very similar stories in as far as love is concerned, and I feel like you need to realize like this new person that could be coming in for you is going to be very, very different. It's like there's something different about them, and I feel like you'll, number one, don't question it because you're gonna pick up on it right away. Number two, I feel like it's not gonna be like anything you've experienced in the past. So I'm dragging this out too much, but I just want to see. You have the Seven of Swords, definitely I feel like you have experienced lying, cheating, stealing, or just people who have issues in the past is what I'm getting there. Yeah, King of Cups. It's like you give all your emotions away to new people that you meet, and yeah, this is you, Emperor. Look at that, Emperor 3 times in your reading. That's crazy. So I feel that in a lot of ways, it's like you're attracting someone who is an emperor. Like this is going to be a new person. 10 of Cups wanting to pop out there, Pisces. But I feel like you experienced lying, cheating, stealing in the recent past with a person, or just, I don't know. I feel like this person was like veiled. I would say if I could describe your past relationship here, Pisces, it's like this person was like this. I feel like they just kept you at arm's length. It's like there were certain things that you don't know about this past person if you're dealing with a past person. I feel like I don't think they were necessarily a liar, but I just feel that you didn't know everything. And I feel you know this. You're a Pisces, right? So it's like you know that there are things. And I feel like you really opened up to this person, by the way. And I feel like they proved you right, your beliefs. So very specific story I'm getting. It's like they proved you right about your beliefs about relationships. You have the Page of Swords here. Yeah, I feel like you could have found out some truths through some spying. And it's like definitely time to open up. She's guarded, 2 of Swords here. I feel like it's the King of Cups is you, Two of Swords, you needing to open up to this new person right here. Yeah, too many sadness, though, over the past relationships. I feel like for those of you who are questioning whether or not you want to get into a relationship, the Five of Cups says you have a lot more to gain than you realize. It is a card of sadness and crying over spilt milk, but there's a bridge that leads to a castle here on this card. If he just turns around, he'll see the bridge and the castle. Very interesting, Pisces. I love this reading, obviously. I think we've been going for like 25 minutes or so, somewhere around there. It'll be shorter when I edit it, but this looks really good. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support, but thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.